My in-laws swiped $10,000 from my account while squatting in my house. When I confronted my husband, he brushed it off, sneered, "Be quiet. This is family. If you try to speak, I will kick you out." Furious, I decided to take revenge. They were unaware of what was going to happen to them now. They was shocked when the house. My name is Anna, and until that moment, I thought I had everything under control. Sure, living with my in-laws wasn't ideal, but Adam and I agreed it would only be for a few months while they got back on their feet. That was 9 months ago. I double-checked the transaction details on my phone, my hands trembling. The money was taken out in person at our local bank yesterday afternoon, while I was stuck in a 5-hour meeting at work. "Adam," I called out, trying to stay calm. No response. Of course not. He'd already left for work, probably passing his mother on his way out. Rachel, my mother-in-law, basically lived at our kitchen table now, planning her social events and making endless phone calls. Right on cue, her voice drifted upstairs. "Anna, darling, could you bring me my reading glasses when you come down? I think I left them in the guest room." The guest rooms. What used to be my home office before they moved in. I took a deep breath, grabbed her glasses, and headed downstairs with the crumpled bank statement in my other hand. "There you are," Rachel said cheerfully, looking flawless as always, even this early in the morning. "I was just telling Tyler about the most wonderful investment opportunity. You know how these things work. You have to act quickly when luck comes your way." I froze mid-step, still holding out her glasses. "Tyler." I glanced at my father-in-law, who suddenly seemed fascinated with his coffee cup. "Investment opportunity." I repeated, my mind racing. I repeated the word slowly, feeling like the crumpled bank statement in my hand weighed a ton. "Oh, yes, dear," Rachel said casually. "Adam mentioned you two were doing so well financially. And since we're family," she waved her hand as if it was no big deal. "Don't worry yourself about it. Adam took care of everything yesterday." The room spun slightly as her words sank in. Adam had given his parents access to our joint account, the one where I deposited my entire paycheck every month, the one we were using to save for our own house. And he didn't even ask me. "I need to make a phone call," I said, keeping my voice even as I turned to leave. I didn't want Rachel to see my face. As I climbed the stairs, I heard her chatting with Tyler, going on about some charity gala she was planning to host, in my house, of course. By the time I reached my phone, my hands weren't shaking anymore. They were steady as I dialed Adam's number, a strange calm settling over me. This wasn't just about money now. This was something bigger. Adam didn't pick up. Not once. Instead, around noon, I got a short text. "Sorry, honey. Crazy day at work. We'll talk tonight." I was sitting in my car outside my favorite coffee shop, gripping the steering wheel so tightly my knuckles turned white. 8 missed calls, and all I got was a text. "You look like you're ready to kill someone," Olivia said, tapping on my car window. "Come on, I got us a table in the back. Inside, over hot coffee." I told her everything. The mysterious $10,000 withdrawal, Rachel's mention of an investment opportunity, Adam's silence. With every detail, Olivia's face darkened. "So let me get this straight," she said, putting her coffee cup down with a sharp clink. "Your mother-in-law is redecorating your guest bathroom with gold fixtures. Using your money?" I blinked at her, confused. "What? You didn't see the delivery guys?" Olivia asked. "They were at your house this morning when I drove by. I thought you knew. There was this huge truck from Luxury Bath and Beyond in your driveway." Suddenly, my coffee tasted bitter, acidic. $6 on bathroom fixtures," I said, my voice shaking. "In my house." Without even asking, Olivia leaned forward, her voice firm but gentle. "Anna, this isn't just about money anymore. They're literally renovating your house without your permission." "I know," I whispered, staring down at my coffee. "But Adam needs to grow a spine." She cut in, "Or you need to grow claws." My phone buzzed on the table. A text from Rachel. "Darling, the contractors need a decision about the marble countertops. I picked out a lovely Italian import, but it's a bit over budget. Adam said to check with you since you're so good with numbers." Olivia leaned over my shoulder, reading the text, and let out a low whistle. "Over budget? You mean over the budget of your stolen money?" I started typing a response, then stopped, deleted it, and started again. How do you tell someone they've crossed a line when they don't even realize there's a line? "You know what the worst part is?" I said, shoving my phone into my bag. "Last week, Rachel told me I should be grateful they moved in. She said Adam was finally becoming the man she raised him to be now that they're around more." Olivia raised an eyebrow. "And what kind of man is that?" "One who apparently doesn't think he needs to check with his wife about anything." I stood up, feeling restless. "I need to get back to work. But first, I'm stopping by the bank to open a new account." "One without Adam's name on it." Olivia grinned. "Now that's the Anna I know. Just remember, sometimes the best revenge isn't about getting even. It's about getting free." As I drove back to work, her words stuck with me. Getting free. Maybe it was time to show the Addisons exactly what kind of woman Adam had married. Later, while organizing our tax documents, the truth hit me like a slap in the face. Adam hadn't just given his parents access to our joint account, he'd been quietly transferring money to them for months. At first, the amounts were small, but they got bigger over time, all labeled as business expenses or household maintenance. I was still staring at the spreadsheet trying to process it when Adam came home that evening. The house smelled like his mother's signature pot roast, and I could hear her laughing with Tyler in the dining room. Everything felt surreal, like I was watching someone else's life unfold. It felt like I was watching my life from the outside, like it wasn't even mine anymore. "Hey, you missed dinner," Adam said, loosening his tie. "Mom saved you a plate. $35,000, I said, my voice calm, almost too calm. "That's how much you've given them since January." The color drained from his face. "Anna, I can explain." "Please do." I turned the laptop toward him. "Explain why you've been lying to me for months. Explain why your parents are renovating our bathroom while we're struggling to keep up with mortgage payments." "They needed help," he said, running his hands through his hair. "Dad's investments went bad, and Mom. And what about us?" My voice cracked. "What about the house we were saving for? What about our plans? They're my parents, Santa, and I'm your wife." The words exploded out of me. "Or, am I just your personal ATM?" We both froze as heavy footsteps came down the hallway. Tyler appeared in the doorway with Rachel hovering behind him. "Is everything all right?" Tyler asked, though his eyes were locked on Adam. "Son, perhaps we should. There's nothing to discuss." I cut in, standing up. "This is between me and my husband." Rachel stepped forward, her perfectly manicured hands clasped together. "Anna, darling, you're being dramatic. Family helps family. Surely you understand." "Family doesn't steal," I shot back. "Family doesn't lie." "We never stole anything," Rachel said sharply. "Adam offered to help. He knows his responsibilities to this family." This family's eye laughed bitterly. "You mean the family that's been draining us dry while planning charity galas in my house?" "Anna, please," Adam said, reaching for my arm. I pulled away, something clicking into place as I looked at him. At all of them. I finally saw it. The way they'd slowly taken over our home, our money, our lives. And Adam had just let it happen. "I'm staying at Olivia's tonight," I said, grabbing my keys. "And when I come back, I expect real answers. All of them. I want to know where my money went." As I walked out, I heard Rachel say, "Adam, sweetheart, you can't let her speak to us this way. We're your parents." I slammed the door behind me, my hand steady as I started the car. For the first time in months, I knew exactly what I needed to do. Olivia's guest room became my safe space for 4 days. Adam called over and over, leaving message after message, each one more desperate than the last. But I stayed quiet until I checked our online banking. He was still transferring money. I told Olivia, staring at my laptop screen glowing in her dim kitchen. Even after everything, he moved another $4,000 to their account yesterday. Olivia set down her wine glass. "Have you talked to a lawyer yet?" The word lawyer made my stomach twist. "I keep thinking about our wedding day," I said quietly. "Adam promised he'd always put us first. Now, I wonder if he even remembers making that promise." My phone buzzed, a text from Adam. "Please come home. We need to talk about this like adults." Olivia read it over my shoulder and snorted. "Like adults? You mean like how he's been acting like a teenager with his mom's credit card?" I started typing a response, but then an email notification popped up from our mortgage company. My hand shook as I opened it. "Oh my God," I whispered. "We're 4 months behind on our mortgage payments." Olivia leaned in closer. "But you've been making the payments every month." "I have." My voice sounded far away, like it wasn't even mine. "But apparently, Adam's been canceling them and redirecting the money." I stared at the screen, my stomach sinking. "There's a notice of default." A knock at Olivia's front door made us both jump. Through the window, I saw Adam's car parked outside. "I'll get rid of him," Olivia said, standing up. "No." I stopped her, a strange calm settling over me. "I need to handle this." When I opened the door, Adam looked awful, unshaven, shirt wrinkled, and eyes tired. "Anna, please," he said. "Mom's beside herself. Dad's talking about moving out." "The mortgage, Adam." My voice was barely a whisper. "You've been stealing our mortgage payments." He flinched. "Dad's investment group is about to turn things around once they secure this next deal." "There is no deal, is there?" The truth hit me like a wave. "Your father's broke, and you're ruining our life to keep theirs together." "They're my family," he pleaded. "We can't just abandon them." "But, you can abandon our future?" I stepped back inside. "I'm filing for separation, Adam. I suggest you talk to your parents about finding somewhere else to live." "Anna, wait." I closed the door, my heart pounding but my mind clearer than it had been in months. Through the window, I watched him stand there for a long time before finally walking back to his car. "You okay?" Olivia asked softly. I nodded, pulling out my phone to search for divorce lawyers. "I will be. For the first time in months, I actually will be." After a week at Olivia's, I came back home with divorce papers in my bag and a plan in my head. What I didn't expect was to find Rachel hosting a garden party in my backyard. There were caterers bustling around, string lights draped through the apple trees, and strangers arranging flowers on tables I didn't even recognize. "Anna," Rachel waved at me like nothing had happened. "You're just in time. The caterers need your approval for the menu for next weekend's charity gala." I froze on the porch, staring at the scene. "What charity gala?" "The one we're hosting here, of course," Rachel said, adjusting a centerpiece. "Adam said you'd be fine with it. The invitations have already gone out." The divorce papers felt heavy in my bag. "Where's Adam?" I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. "Working late again." "Poor thing," she said, lowering her voice, "though I suppose that's partly your fault, running off like a teenager throwing a tantrum." Something inside me snapped. "Everyone needs to leave," I said firmly. "Don't be ridiculous," Rachel replied, waving me off. "Get out." My voice rang across the yard, stopping the catering staff in their tracks. "All of you. This event is cancelled." Rachel's face hardened. "I have 70 important guests coming next weekend. You can't just watch me." I grabbed my phone and dialed the number printed on the catering truck parked nearby. "Hi, this is Anna Addison, the homeowner. I'm canceling all services for next weekend's event." "No. Mrs. Rachel Addison is not authorized to make arrangements for my property." Tyler appeared from inside the house, his face red. "Anna, you're embarrassing your mother." "She's not my mother," I snapped, turning to the stunned staff. "Please pack up and leave now." As the caterers hurried to gather their things, Rachel grabbed my arm. "You ungrateful little." "Let go," I said quietly, looking her dead in the eye, "or I'll call the police and have you removed for trespassing." She released me as if my skin had burned her. "Adam will hear about this," she hissed. "Good." I pulled the divorce papers from my bag. "He can add it to the list of things we need to discuss." Tyler stepped forward, his confidence faltering. "Now, Anna, let's not be hasty. You have until tomorrow to find somewhere else to stay," I said, turning toward the house. "I suggest you start packing. This isn't over." Rachel called after me. "You're right," I said without looking back. "It's just beginning." I walked upstairs into my house and closed the door to my bedroom. Downstairs, I could hear them arguing, could hear the catering trucks pulling away. My hands were shaking, but not from fear. For the first time in months, I felt in control. My phone buzzed. Adam was calling again. "This time," I answered. "We need to talk," I said before he could say a word. "And this time, it's on my terms." "I'm doing the talking," I said as Adam came home late that night. But he wasn't alone. The entire Addison family had packed into my dining room. Aunts, uncles, cousins I'd never met before. Rachel sat at the head of the table like a queen holding court. "Anna," Adam said, his voice strained. "Mom thought we should have a family meeting." "Family meeting?" I looked around at the strangers filling my house. "Or an intervention?" Rachel smiled, that same practiced, perfect smile that never touched her eyes. "We're all concerned about your recent behavior, dear. The canceled charity gala, the threats, the divorce papers, which you had no right to tell anyone about," I cut in, looking directly at Adam. His cousin Christina, whom I'd never met, reached for my hand. "We just want to help. Family stays together." I pull my hand away. "You don't even know me, but we know Adam," Tyler said. "And this isn't like him. The missed payments, the stress, it all started when you began pushing back against family obligations." I laughed, but it was bitter and hollow. "Family obligations? Is that what we're calling financial abuse now?" "Nobody's abusing anyone," Adam said quickly. "Mom and Dad needed help." "So, you stole from our mortgage payments?" I snapped. The room fell silent. I looked around at their stunned faces. "Did you tell them that part, Adam? Did you tell your whole family how you've been secretly funneling money to your parents while our house is about to go into foreclosure?" Rachel's confident smile wavered. "Adam assured us you were both doing very well financially." "We were," I said coldly, "until you moved in." "Now, Anna," Tyler started, but I cut him off. I pulled out my phone and opened my banking app. "Would everyone like to see exactly how well we're doing? Here's our mortgage statement. Here are Adam's secret transfers. Here's the credit card Daddy's been hiding." "That's enough." Adam slammed his hand on the table. "No, it's not enough." I turned to face them all, my voice rising. "You want to talk about family? Fine. Let's talk about how your perfect Adam and his wonderful parents have nearly bankrupted us. Let's talk about the slap came out of nowhere." Rachel stood there, her hand still raised, her face twisted with rage. You ungrateful little witch. After everything we've done for you, the room erupted into chaos. Adam's relatives all started shouting at once, some defending Rachel, others looking shocked. Through the noise, I locked eyes with Adam, silently begging him to say something, to do something. But he just looked away. Get out, I whispered. Then louder, all of you. Get out. Anna, Adam reached for me. Don't. I stepped back, my cheek still stinging. Just don't. Without another word, I turned and walked upstairs, leaving the chaos behind. I could hear Rachel downstairs, barking orders, making plans, and taking control like she always did. But this time, something was different. This time, I was done playing nice. That night, I gathered everything. Bank statements, mortgage papers, credit card bills. By morning, I had a full picture of just how much damage the Addisons had done. When Adam finally came into our bedroom, I was ready. We need to talk, he said, standing awkwardly in the doorway. About how you've been lying to everyone? I asked, spreading the papers across the bed. Your parents aren't just broke, are they? They're drowning in debt. Adam's face fell. Anna, please. How bad is it, Adam? Because these credit card statements show you've been paying for everything. Their cars, their vacations, even their country club membership. They'll pay it back, he insisted. Dad's investment. There is no investment. I snapped, throwing a pile of bounced check notices at him. Your dad's been writing bad checks for months, and you've been covering for him by draining our accounts. Adam slumped against the wall, his face pale. You don't understand. Mom and Dad, they gave me everything growing up. I owe them. You owe me. My voice cracked. I'm your wife. We built this life together, and you threw it all away. For what? To keep up your mother's delusions? They're my family, he said weakly. And what am I? I asked, my words hanging in the air like a weight. The silence between us felt like a canyon, too wide to cross. Downstairs, I could hear Rachel's voice, probably planning another party we couldn't afford. I can't choose, Adam whispered. You already did, I said. I pulled out one last document, my separate bank account statement. I've moved my salary to a new account. I'm not paying for their fantasy life anymore. You can't do that, Adam said, his voice barely above a whisper. Watch me. I stood up, suddenly feeling lighter. I've also called a realtor. The house goes on the market next week. Mom will never. Your mother has no say in this. I cut him off. And neither do you anymore. I handed him the divorce papers. I've already signed my part. Adam stared at the papers, his hands shaking. If you do this, if you make me choose, I'm not making you choose. Adam, I'm choosing myself. A loud commotion downstairs made us both turn. Rachel stormed into the doorway, her face red with anger. What's this about selling the house? She demanded. Adam, tell her she can't. The house is in my name, I said calmly, cutting her off. I bought it before we were married. You all seem to have forgotten that, but we're family. Rachel's voice rose, almost hysterical. No, I said quietly, meeting her eyes. We're not. We never were. I walked past them both, down the stairs and out the front door. Behind me, their voices faded, but for the first time, I didn't care. I could hear Rachel's sharp voice and Adam's protests, but they're distant, like background noise I didn't care about anymore. Sitting in my car, I took a deep breath and started the engine. It wasn't the revenge I thought I wanted. It was something better. Freedom. 7 months later, I stood in my newly renovated kitchen, admiring the simple white cabinets that had replaced Rachel's gaudy gold fixtures. The house had sold quickly, and my new townhouse felt like a fresh start. No more empty rooms filled with other people's expectations. My phone buzzed, a text from Adam's cousin Christina. You should know, Mom and Dad finally moved in with Rachel and Tyler. Adams, living in their pool house. I smiled, imagining Rachel's perfect world slowly falling apart under the weight of reality. For adults living off Adam's salary, pretending everything was fine. Karma has a way of balancing things out. The doorbell rang, pulling me from my thoughts. I opened the door to find Rachel standing there. She looked smaller somehow, her designer clothes gone, replaced with simple department store basics. Anna, she said softly, may I come in? Part of me wanted to slam the door in her face, but curiosity got the better of me. I stepped aside. Nice place, she said, glancing around. Very you. What do you want, Rachel? She twisted her hands together, a nervous habit I'd never seen from her before. Adam's getting counseling for financial codependency. He wanted me to give you this. She handed me an envelope. Inside was a check. It wasn't for everything they had taken, but it was a start. It was supposed to be perfect, Rachel whispered, her voice trembling. My perfect son, his perfect life. I thought if I could just control everything. She trailed off, looking lost. That's the problem, I said. You can't control everything or everyone. I know that now, she said, her voice barely above a whisper. She reached for her purse. I should go. At the door, she hesitated and turned back. I'm sorry, Anna. Not just for the money, for everything. I nodded, not quite ready to forgive, but finally understanding something I hadn't before. Rachel's perfect world had been built on fear, fear of losing control, losing her status, losing her son's devotion. After she left, I sat in my quiet kitchen, staring at the check. 7 months ago, I wanted revenge. I wanted them all to feel the same pain they had caused me. But now, watching their carefully constructed world collapse under its own weight didn't feel like victory. It felt like freedom. My phone buzzed again. Olivia had texted, "Drinks tonight? That cute bartender is asking about you again." I smiled, thinking about fresh starts and unexpected paths. The check in my hand represented more than just money. It was a step toward accountability, maybe even redemption, but I didn't need it anymore. I snapped a photo of the check and sent it to Adam with a simple message: "Use this for your therapy. I'm good on my own." Then I texted Olivia back, "Tell the bartender I'll be there at 8. Sometimes, the best revenge isn't about getting even. It's about getting free."